All right, according to Newton's third law, each team in a tug of war, and then you have this image here, pulls with equal force on the other team. What then determines which team will win? So we're going to have to do like some free body diagrams to try to figure this out. So, I've got, this is team one, right? So this is team one. And I'm just going to draw it as like a collective. Well, let me draw it a little better. Let's move this over here. Let me do it like this. All right, so in here, this is team one. And this is team two. And so here's what's interesting about this. There's one rope connecting them. So there's this one, which is the force of tension of the rope. And then there's this one, which is equal but opposite direction. And guess what? That's the force of the tension of the rope. Okay? But the team two, is pulling this way. And that's the force of team two. And then they're just pulling that direction. And then over here, you have team one pulling with a force of and so the winner is going to have a greater force or the greater pull. Okay? And that is basically it. So, who do you think will win? It's hard to tell based on this photo. It looks like Team 2 has more people.
I feel like Team 2's got the bigger people impact because they got more like heavy boys.
But this guy on the left.
But these people might pull, yeah, you got a bunch of little kids here. Right. So in the tug of war, it's the hardest pull that wins, right? So the textbook says that Team 1 actually has a harder pull, right? So the net force, so here's the thing. So if Ft sub 1 is greater than Ft2, then these guys win. And it's just that simple. Now, I should point out another thing is that Ft1 minus FTR, the tension of the rope, that's the net force. Okay. So, in other words, and remember that has to do with the force equals mass times the acceleration. So the acceleration, or the rate at which they move, is based on the difference between the tension that not the tension, but the force that Team 1 pulls with, minus the tension between the two teams. Okay. And in this case, if we orientated for this side to be negative, then this side would be positive. So you'd have a negative net force. Any questions on that?
No.
Does that make sense?
So one. Team one did.
Yeah.
Team one did. Now,